Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Hope you guys are watching all the videos on this series and I believe you are liking most of it because I see a very good response. So this video we will be covering styles, right? So how we can style our components, okay, and how we can use style sheet to do that better way. Okay, so I will be covering most of the topics related to style sheets, which you can see over the screen. So create, compose, flatten, and some more reusable kind of component provided by stylesheet, which is absolute fill and absolute fill object, right? And like hairline width. So these are not much usable, but yeah, definitely, because it is in the documentation, so I will explain you why and how we use these, right? So before moving forward, guys, please do like this video and subscribe to my channel. So let's move forward and see the code. So what you notice here, if you see, we have a very basic component on the app.js, right? So what you notice, we have just a component which has view and text. Okay, so now what you notice, the right side there is hello guys, but it is hidden somewhere, right? So now anything happens on your application or your web application, so you need to style that in order to see that particular text or images or anything which you want on the web page or the web application. You wanted to align that, or you wanted to style that, you wanted to change the font, right? So here also we have a similar kind of thing. So we have something called style, which is connected to each of your components, so you can give it to that. So it's kind of prop which you will pass to your component, and you say style, and then you put this curly braces always. Okay, so this is where you have to pass your style object. So always you have to pass object only, that is the thing. So if you pass object directly here, you can also write the styles. So likewise, if I say this, so you can see your hello guys is coming up a little bigger because we have given the font size. Now this is how you can start giving the styles, or you can learn styling for your components, right? But yeah, going forward, you'll not do everything in line with your component, right? So that's when style sheets comes in. So I'll come to that. Okay, so here also we will give our style. Remember, we have to give object to this. Okay, so it has to be two different curly braces. Okay, so one inside one. So you have to say flex one. Why I'm doing that is I wanted to align this text in the center. Okay, and then I would say align item. Okay, so now you see your text in center of your screen. So this is how your style work with your component, right? So now in order to do this proper way, so there is a component called style sheets. Okay, so which is built-in component, so you can directly import style sheet, right? So if you import style sheets, so you no need to do this inline. Okay, so what you can do, you can directly start creating this like style. Okay, so you can say style sheet. Okay, so there is a method called create. Okay, so this create method accept object. So in this object you can start giving your selectors, right? How you used to give in your normal css, like you used to give id and classes, right? Here it is very direct because it is object. You have to just provide the key, like container. Okay, let's say this is our container, and we have this. Anyway, we have to return this object, so you can directly paste that here, right? And now what happens, because you kept the empty, it will throw some error. So what you have to do, you have to say style dot container. Okay, once you save, it is working, right? So this is working because create will style dot create will export or provide you this container, right? Container style. So similarly you can have this text. Okay, so you can say this text have this particular styles. Okay, so you can say style dot text. Now you can see your text is also coming with bigger size. So now what all you can do, you can also change the color of this. Okay, so you can say hash f90 Okay, so right, so you can change the colors, you can style your component the way you want, right? You want images to become here, you want text size to be improved, you want you want font family to give to your text, right? So all of that you can do with styling. That is okay, but what more we can do with style sheets? So there are a couple of more things which I was showcasing in my display image. So we have compose, we have flatten. Okay, so compose will help you to merge two styles. Okay, and when it does, it actually override the properties. Okay, so how can we say that? So let me come back. Okay, so now we have learned about the create, but the compose, if you read about the documentation, I will leave this link in the description. Okay, so what it says, it combine two styles and it actually override. So the style one, whichever you provide in this method at first, okay, that will be that will get override by the style 2, right? So in the example you can see here, like we will provide one style and second style, and then if you notice, this container will have the overridden kind of properties coming to you. Okay, so we'll see the example. So now let's say we have two styles. Okay, style 1 is style 2. I will just copied this one, so we'll provide some background color here. Background color. Okay, you'll notice the green color. Now here we will take one more background color. Okay, so it can be black. Okay, so we have this background color, but now what you see, we are not using this style 2, right? So that's okay. So what we will do, we will create one common, or we can say compose style. Okay, so compose style, and because it comes from style sheet, so we have to say style sheet dot compose. Okay, so now the first parameter which we need to pass will be the one which you will be overriding. Okay, so style dot container, the second one will be style 2 dot container. Okay, so now we are not using this particular variable. So as you see, we are merging these two, right? So we have already done style dot content. So next time we are using, we no need to do this, right? So here we are doing style dot content, we can directly use this. Okay, and what you see here, it is black. That means style 2 have overridden the property of style 1, right? So this is what compose will do for you. Okay, now the similar kind of property which we have, right? So which is this flatten. Okay, this flatten will also does the similar kind of thing, but I will tell you the very good difference between these two. So now what happens, like if I do this compose, sorry, flatten style sheet, so this also will be provided by style sheet. So it also have similar kind of structure. So you have to just it's the object, so it is a dot style sheet dot flatten. So because this is also a method, you have to provide above like any kind of styles to this. Okay, so I'm providing this thing. Okay, so I would like to tell you the difference between these two. Okay, so let me do the console. Okay, and you will understand what is the difference. Compose, and we have compose style. So this difference you should understand. Okay, so then only it will be easier for you to use this in any kind of use case. So otherwise you will not be able to figure out the use case of this. Okay, flatten. Okay, now come back to our terminal. So what you notice here, compose have two different object into the array, and the flatten have a object only. Okay, that means it flatten have merged these two objects, right, and only kept the unique properties, right? And what you notice, the background color which was repeated, right, it has only taken the from the first one. Okay, so here here you will not have override kind of thing. Okay, it will keep the unique property from the first one. Okay, so that you have to understand there is no overridden kind of thing will happen to you. So now let's go back and try to use that. So if you try to use this, it should be, because it is returning you the object, you have to directly use that. So instead of compose style, I'll say flatten, it will return you that directly. Okay, so now we know how we can create the styles and how we can compose and flatten these styles. So now next thing is, there are some predefined styles available from the style sheet. Okay, so what is that like? So we have these two or three absolute fill object and hairline width, which is provided, but I feel okay, sometime we can use. I don't see much use case about these two or three, but yeah, definitely I'll just explain you, and then we'll see how we can optimize these style sheets and everything, how we can keep our folder structure, file structure. Okay, so let's move forward and see this how absolute fill will work. I have a couple of styles, so I've just kept, so we'll take three boxes. So three boxes, in order to take three boxes, so we'll create a view. Okay, and then we have a text in that which says box 1. Okay, and we'll close this view. Okay, and we'll take the style will say style dot box 1. Okay, similarly we have two box, three box, three box, two box, and here we have to change the styles. Okay, so we have to change the background color, otherwise we won't notice this. So I'll just keep the white. Okay, so we have three boxes, right? Box 1, box 2, and box 3. For these text, we can define one more style and say white text. So we have this white text, we have to start using it like style equals style dot. So now you know how to use this, right? So I'm quickly doing that for you, because we need to understand how we can use that absolute fill property. Okay, which is coming in from style sheet. Okay, so now we have this box 1 2 3, which is text also visible right now. What you notice, the box 1 have position property already. Okay, we have position absolute. Box 2 3 also have this property available, which has the top, left, and right, all of that, width, height. So absolute fill, guys, if you come to the documentation, you will notice this is provided in order to avoid a lot of repetition of code. Okay, so you see the properties, right? Absolute left 0, right 0, so all of these might be repeated in your project. So if it is repeated, you can directly use this absolute fill coming in from your style sheets, right? So let's try that. Okay, so in order to try this, so you just need to do one thing, like you have to directly take your styles in a array, and then you can directly say style sheet dot absolute fill. Okay, so there are two, so you should not confuse, right? So there are two, which is style sheet dot absolute fill and fill object. So I'll tell you the difference, but yeah, so in order to use these, right, absolute fill, you can directly use with your inline style, where you will be defining your styles. So in an array, so it has the previous kind of styles, and plus it will add on to your previous styles. So basically, if you see this array, you will notice this particular object and this particular object, which is position absolute, left 0, and all of that will be merged, right? So what do you notice, your box 2 gone up, because left position is also 0, right position is also 0, everything is 0, and we have the position absolute defined there by default. So similarly, if you wanted to use absolute fill object, so what is that? That also have the similar properties, but instead of using here in the array, right? So what you can do, you can use as it is this object, and you can come here, because so as you come here, you have to put spread operator, you have to say this style sheet dot absolute object fill. So what you will do, this method will merge these two styles and you will have the similar kind of effect on your box too, right? So these two are clear. So absolute fill you can directly use in your styles, where you are defining styles. You can directly define an array, and in that you can put these two. Otherwise, if you don't want to do that, you can directly use inside your styles. Okay, you are free to do that. Okay, next thing is we have hairline width. So it is nothing, it's a 1 pixel width which is provided to you. So you can use let's say we can say this text we have, right? So here we can define border, we can say border color. Okay, so I'll say F90 and I'll say border width. So you can define this width with style sheet dot hairline border. Okay, so when you say that, you notice there is a hairline width. Okay, so I'll come to that. Let's change the color of this. We can make it black so that you can notice. So what you notice here, hairline width. So this hairline width is provided from the style sheet, so that you can avoid that 1 pixel kind of thing always, right? So this is how you can do, like you can just say padding 20, so that you can see this border. So now this border is there with hairline width. Okay, so all of these we have covered, like all the topics is covered on the style sheet, and these are the uh, very important topics. Okay, some of them is like you don't find use case always, but yeah, but you should know how to do that. But now next thing is, when you are working on big project, will you be writing all of these styles into your components? Will that be the case? No. So what we will do, we'll create our style folder which has all of our styles, and we will be merging to our basically our index.js. So where we'll be merging all our styles, so that we will just import one file to our component and start using those home styles or button styles or whatever it is, right? So these are some basic examples I've created, like, and here you will be just simply creating your StyleSheet.create and keep your styles. Okay, so let's say home styles. So these home page styles we have, so we can go back, we can copy our these styles whatever we have here. Okay, so let's go to the home, we'll replace it. Okay, so I have this home style, right? And we have a couple of button style. Let's say you have 10 type of buttons, you can say 1 button, 2 button, 3, and all of that. Okay, we can create text.js, okay, which will have so many text kind of styles, right? So similarly you can create 5 or 10, and you can all you import and export from this index.js, right? So that you can keep everything in one folder. So now as we have this home thing coming in here, right? So home have all of this, right? So you no need to uh, go into that app.js and in order to use anything, right? So flatten is there, so we can replace with styles dot that, but that. Okay, so now let's do this. So let's import, or let's const, we can say home.styles. Okay, so now we have home.styles coming in here, but what is there under home.styles? So you have all of this. Now you can destructure all of this. Okay, so instead of using this like style.text, style.box and all of that, you can say here container. Okay, you can say box1. So this is the beauty, when you start optimizing your code, you can optimize it this label. Okay, and then we have this text, right? White text and text. Okay, so we have all of these properties, we can start replacing it. Okay, we can say this box1 can be just box1. We'll just remove all of that. Okay, now you still have all of this. So what we can do, we can remove our styles from here, or we can comment out for now. Okay, our page still works. So this is the one way you can optimize your code, right? So now you see very beautiful, or very organized code, right? So you can still break down these to multiple components, but that I have told in a previous video, right? You can go back and check that. If you don't know how to create a component separately and just use into any one component, how you can reuse the component, so you can do that by watching my previous video. But yeah, this is how you will optimize. You see, we have destructured our home styles. So now if we need this button style, so we can also use that. We can also define our text styles or our color style, so everything can be defined into this folder and can be export, right? And then you can directly use it. Okay, so that's it guys for this video. Hope you are liking this video and similar kind of content. So please do subscribe to this channel and share these videos with your friends or people who are learning React Native or mobile application development. So guys, see you in next video. Till then, take care. Bye bye. Keep coding, keep shining.